Our parks crew is, or park staff is so good at details, and they ordered this weather today, especially for this event. So we want to thank you for that. As Katie said, I'm here on behalf of Executive Constantine, who sends his greetings and his regrets that he can't be here today. You know, it's a rare opportunity to formally open a park of this size. At more than 220 acres, Cougar Squak Corridor Park also occupies an envious spot, being wedged between protected lands that comprise the emerald necklace of the Issaquah Alps. The story of this park is a story about persistence and about collaboration, of seizing an opportunity and of looking toward the future. Only a few years ago, this property was a defunct private camping club with a failed septic system and an unsafe water supply. Then came a proposal for a timber harvest, followed by possibly housing. But this property also featured magnificent forests and the headwaters of a salmon-bearing stream. And it featured a strong and persistent advocate. David Kappler, president of the Issaquah Alps Trail Club. Absolutely. Absolutely. Became the face and the voice of the grassroots effort for public acquisition of this magnificent land. Through many letters, emails, and phone calls, Dave and like-minded citizens let our elected officials know their feelings about plans for cutting the forests and developing this land. We knew that there was a significant amount of community support for preserving this land for passive recreation, open space, and excellent fish and wildlife habitat. We didn't know where we would come up with the funding to purchase the property. So this is where the collaboration part comes in. The Trust for Public Land generously offered to step up and provide the interim funding necessary to purchase the forest land and to hold the property for us while we developed a proposal to fund the acquisition. We thank them for their commitment to open space preservation. And finally, we owe a great amount of gratitude to the voters of King County, whose support of King County Parks Regional Levy helped fund the public acquisition of this property, along with Conservation Futures Funds and real estate excise tax funds. So I am so pleased to be here today. It's a great day. I'm looking forward to spending some time here in the area, and I thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much, Rhonda. Next, I'd like to introduce Councilmember Reagan Dunn.
Well, it's great to be here today. I just dropped my son off at T-ball. He's playing for the Orioles. He's 5 years old. He's crushing it right now. And this is Pemberley Jennifer Dunn, PJ, my little daughter. This is her first speech right now, so she's a little nervous. Anyway, it's great to be here. It's an exciting day. Weather couldn't be better. Rhonda, thanks for your kind words and comments there. You know, I just want to thank the staff and all the volunteers for this project that put in hard work to make this a reality. It's come a long way since this issue first arose in 2012. And at that time, the owner of the land was beginning the process to obtain permits to clear cut the land we stand on right now. And the developer was preparing plans to build homes once the trees were cleared. So without the tireless advocacy of the people involved with the Save Squak organization, some of you raise your hands if you're involved in that group. Yay, good. Give them a round of applause. And also the Issaquah Alps Trails Club, this day may not have come at all. So thank you. Yeah. They worked alongside folks on the council and the executive's office to help find funding for King County to purchase land, of course, with the help from the Trust for Public Land, which this really closed the deal on this. I'm honored to be a part of this celebration and this new acreage. You need to go potty? Oh, okay. How are we doing on facilities? Do we need a grant for that? Can you wait 1 sec, maybe? Okay. I'll shorten my speech, yes, dear. This new acreage connects the existing public land and creates 730-acre Cougar Squak corridor park, which is just wonderful. We all know how important the Issaquah Alps are. Protect salmon-bearing streams, open space for the next generation and for years and years and years to come, and hopefully forever. So the King County Parks employees and a variety of volunteers really helped prepare this site. I'm proud of that. And it's really a fine example of what we can achieve through this sort of public-private, nonprofit partnership that exists out there. So this is great. All special thanks to Dave Kappler for all of his hard work in holding the team together and maintaining the trails for public use. Dave, where are you? There you are. Thanks, Dave. He was one of the first folks to contact my office about this issue, and he really has been involved in making it a reality. So thanks again for all your hard work. This is a great victory, and we should celebrate it today. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to introduce Paul Kundtz, the Washington State Director for the Trust for Public Land.
Welcome, everybody. Is everyone hearing these birds? That's fantastic. The Trust for Public Land's mission is to create parks and conserve land for people, and I want to emphasize that people element. We conserve lands for outdoor recreation like this, hiking, birding, whatever your joy is out in nature. And this was just a dream project for us, and we're quite pleased that it all came together. If I had to use one word to describe why this property is important, I would say connectivity, and in 3 ways. There are probably about 2 million people that live within a 30-minute drive of this property. So it provides a connection to this entire urban environment that many of us live in, to this natural wonder here. Secondly, this is an important connection in a larger trail system that runs here through the Alps. We have trails on both sides, actually 3 sides of this property, and this property is going to provide a key trail connector. And third, it's a wildlife corridor that will connect the wildlife habitat up and down this entire corridor. So for all 3 of those reasons and its natural beauty and resources here, this was really an important acquisition and conservation effort. How do these things happen? I think others have already touched on this. You know the story, the threat, the development, and the clear cutting and all of that. And we certainly were pleased to come in here and buy this and hold this property until the county could come up with the funds. But this was truly a partnership with various organizations and the community as a whole. It really started with the Mountains to Sound Greenway, which you'll be hearing from. They have the great vision for this entire greenway from Seattle all the way over the pass to Ellensburg. All projects need to fit within a larger landscape and vision, and they play a critical role there. Issaquah Alps, of course, has the local knowledge and the expertise, the advocacy, and rang the bell when the crisis came about. Washington Trails Association is here and starting to improve the trails on the ground, and that work's underway, and I think will continue with their large army of volunteers. It's going to make this a wonderful trail system. Of course, King County is critical to this, bringing, as a representative of all the people in this county, bringing its resources and expertise to bear. All of those partners being in place gave us the confidence to come in and buy this property and hold it. But most importantly, the public support and interest in a place like this. I look at the number of people here on opening day. I think this is going to be one of the most popular and important parks in King County here. So congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to the partners. It's a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next, someone you all know, David Kappler, the president from the Issaquah Alps Trails Club.
Thank you. I'll start with a lousy joke. If you were between a cougar and a tiger, you would squawk too. Okay. You know, I could run on for a long time with thank yous, and I would miss a lot of people. And there's a lot of people out there that did things to make this happen that many of us don't even know about their efforts. And the thank you have to get, I think, is having this park and knowing that many, many of you played a key part in getting this park. And thank you again. And many of you who did that are out here today. Thank you. We are going to have some hikes today, walks, one of which will be more of a tour of the lower areas here. We've got a couple of very experienced leaders of the Trails Club who will be doing more of a light hike walk. And there's, if they could raise their hands, it'd be Kurt and Dave over here. And that's for those who want to just get more familiar with the lower part here, some up above the lodge, and some of the other, and think about the potential. Janet and Kathleen will be leading a plant hike on the cliff area, which is a pretty amazing thing. What triggered my highest interest in this site was the cliffs, the rock cliffs, and the wonderful plants that you see on those cliffs that are not typically seen in this area. And Janet and Kathleen are right here. They'll be those. And then the other hike today, and we're not going to do a sign-up sheet for it because, you know, we're just simply not going to be able to keep, you know, some will want to go faster, some slower, some won't want to go all the way to Debbie's View. But there will be several of us who will be leading that trip up to Debbie's View on the Margaret Way trail, the new trail, which starts right here. And WTA did a fantastic job. I don't know how many thousands of hours were put in on this trail building, but it was amazing. Margaret will be, we'll talk some more about Margaret and why this is named after her. Margaret's death was certainly untimely, and she had a full plate of things that she wanted to get done, and we share in that same vision that she had for the rest of the work that needs to be done. We now have to honor Margaret by continuing those efforts. We got more acquisitions directly tied to this property that we want to get, but this whole Mountain to Sound Greenway was something that she spent her whole working life, or her whole working life in Washington at least, on, and we need to continue those efforts. We got leaders of those groups that are doing that, but it gets, again, to the people. The general populace are the ones that make it happen, and work the politicians, and work the park planners, and work the rest of it to make it happen. So we can do it. We did a tremendous thing here, and we have more tremendous things to do in the future. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next, I'd like to introduce Rebecca Lavigne. She's the Trail Program Director for the Washington Trails Association.
Thanks, Katie. It's so wonderful to be here with such great partners and with all of you. Really an amazing turnout today. And there's so much work, as you've heard, that's gone into opening this new park to the public. And I am here specifically to say thank you to each and every one of the 465 individuals who volunteered just with WTA to help build this new trail. So, Washington Trails Association preserves, enhances, and promotes hiking opportunities all across the state of Washington. And let me tell you, the volunteer excitement, the outpouring of volunteer support here is just, it's phenomenal. Whether it's been folks digging in the dirt with WTA, whether it's been folks scouting the trail to get it ready for volunteers, whether it's folks out pulling ivy, it's just phenomenal. So do we have folks in the audience today who have volunteered with WTA here or on another trail? Can you raise your hand? Let's give them a hand. Thanks, you guys. So David said, well, I think WTA volunteers have contributed thousands of hours. Well, let me tell you, you've contributed over 7,500 muddy, dirty, rocky, sweaty hours to building this new trail over the course of 58 different WTA work parties. I want to give a special shout out to one of our volunteers, Bob Evans, who has been on more WTA work parties here so far than anyone else. Another many other really dedicated volunteers here as well. David, of course, George, so many here in the audience. And Jen Gradisher has been leading a number of our work parties on site here. She'll be on the hike, so if you have questions about anything technical, talk with her. And even as we're gathered here to celebrate, our work continues. We actually have a crew of WTA youth volunteers and their families who are high up on the mountain working on improvements to the trail. And so just let me say thanks again to all the volunteers, all WTA members who have supported our work here. And on behalf of WTA, I also want to especially acknowledge REI. They've made a really special grant to WTA to help us continue our work with King County Parks and help really realize the vision for this park in this special place. We have Wendy and Joe here today. Let me turn.
Thanks, y'all. My name is Wendy, and I'm from REI, and we're really excited to partner with WTA on this space. When we first heard about this project, we were really delighted, and it's just an incredible story of the community coming together and something that can last for a lifetime of recreation. And REI, we look for places that we can help ensure that those trails are going to be there in the future for our co-op members, and new places that we can build new trails and new outdoor experiences. So this is a great synergy of all those things. Do we have any REI co-op members in the audience? Just a few. Awesome. Well, and it's because of all of you guys being part of the co-op that we can be here today and help support great organizations like WTA. So thank you so much for that as well.
Great, thanks so much. Next, I'd like to introduce our strong partner in all of this, the Mountains to Sound Greenway Trust, Kurt Fraese, who is the board president.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's always a script, and I find myself abandoning script at these moments and going to the heart. Partnership, connections, corridors, volunteerism. The most outstanding county in this country for doing things like this. King County, you get it. TPL, Washington Trails, Issaquah Alps, Dave, and all of you, because in the end it comes down to all of you. And whether it's Council Member Reagan Dunn's daughter, or there are many other young people here and those that might have a few more years on them, this is about a legacy, something that one hands to another generation. And the vision of the Mountains to Sound Greenway is that we get legacy, we get that human endeavor and its relationship with the landscape is not something that just happens, but it requires thought, and it requires care, and it can be good for both. So, on behalf of the Mountains to Sound Greenway Trust, I'm here today to say thanks to the partners, thanks to the vision that's held for generations, and thanks to all of you who care enough on this glorious day to come out here and be part of something bigger than just you. Now, the Mountains to Sound Greenway corridor starts in Ellensburg and goes all the way to the shores of Puget Sound, 1.5 million acres. We now do have a boundary. It used to be that you drive I-90, you'd say what you could see and what you can hike to, that's the Greenway. Well, we carry this 1.5 million acres now on a broader mission to make this a national heritage area. And we came awfully close last year in that endeavor, in that we got legislation out of committee into the floor of both houses of Congress. And we're going to continue our efforts, and we need all of your help. But do you know what? Cougar Squak Park, this corridor, this connection, why you're here today, is a piece, and a very important piece of that, and that heritage effort. Please visit our booth today and that of our other partners. This mission, this heritage must continue. We must continue to celebrate, have the fellowship and the connection of our human endeavors with these landscapes. And we're just incredibly moved by what was achieved here. And Dave, thanks once again.
Thanks very much. Now I'd like to introduce Kelly Heintz from King County Parks.
So today we opened the park, but we also dedicate the trail to Margaret's Way. And actually, could you bring the photo of Margaret out a little bit? And could the people that knew Margaret and loved her to come forward, Doug and Christy and Dave and Stephen, you're photographing, so I guess you're going to have to stay back there. Okay. You guys can help me out a little bit because Margaret was a really wonderful person that we loved a lot and brings tears to my eyes of what we're doing today. David talked a little bit about the things that she did, the wonderful work that she did. She worked hard and to protect these lands. And we named the trail after Margaret. It's called Margaret's Way, and that has a double meaning. It's a way to get from here and connect to the trails and connect onto Squak Mountain. And it also reflects Margaret's Way. This is where I'm going to cry. Margaret was a wonderful person, and Margaret's Way, the way she was a very beautiful, kind, gentle soul. And when you hike this trail, you go through lots of wonderful forests. They vary. As you go up the hill, you cross nice ravines and streams, and that really reflects Margaret's Way. She was a beautiful person. So we're going to cut the ribbon today as part of the dedication, and we'd like everybody to come forward. We have the scissors for it, and we can get some, we'd like to get some pictures of it too. So the people that have, all the partners that have been involved, we'd like you to come to the ribbon here behind Dave, and we'll cut.
Thanks. So if people can gather behind here that spoke, and we can grab the ridiculously large novelty scissors here. And also, just as one last thing, we'll cut the ribbon and then recommend that people kind of disperse and enjoy the park. And also wanted to thank the King County Park staff who over the past year have been working to get this ready for the public, spruce it up for today's event, and very much want to thank them as well. So if folks want to gather behind here, I think behind the ribbon, and then we can snip.